This is the BGG Climbers list for the week ending in 7/7/2021. This list is put together every week by Michael Alexander, and I'll include the links in the description below in case you want to subscribe or take a look at the list. So let's get into it. There's a lot of interesting stuff this week. We'll start with the below 10 games real quickly. So Lost Ruins of Arnak is still climbing really fast. I think this one is going to end up in the top 50 for sure. It's just too strong of a rating and too many people interested in this game. Along with that, Dune Imperium hit the top 50 technically already, and it's going to continue to climb. I think it's probably not got enough juice to get in the top 10, but probably top 25, I would think. And I still haven't played it yet, so that is another thing. One interesting climber here, sub top 10, is Too Many Bones. So this game has been out for quite a while, and as you can see, it's still moving up slowly, inching its way up. And it's kind of it's a very expensive game, and it's more unique in terms of its chips, and it's also been out for a while. So it's very cool to see this still climbing up and still getting a new following. I actually have it. I just haven't played it. One complaint, though, is the main base game box is not the best design. I really wish they would have made like a new edition of it where they changed the box size. It is a very, very awkward box. Very awkward. And let's see what else we were looking at. I don't think too much stuff under here. The new crew game that this is going to do really well. It'll probably, assuming it sells enough copies, which people might be crewed out to say, I do think this will end up in the top 100 as well, assuming it sells enough copies. Number 10 is Meadow. So we've looked at this game before. It's starting to peter out a little bit with a little bit lower ratings. I don't see this one hitting the top 100, and it'll probably land in the top 500, maybe top 250 if it sells enough copies. So that is Meadow. Number 9, Piranhas. So I think this is a classic game. Let's take a look at it. We've seen a few classic games. Yeah, 2012. So this is, I don't know. I'm not sure why it's on the list, other than probably some people pulled it out. Maybe they found copies of it during the pandemic and started playing it, and a few people rated it. It looks like it's even stranger. It's almost like maybe BGG revised the ratings somewhat, because it doesn't seem to say any additional ratings here. Maybe some games were removed. So that's that. Piranhas. Number 8 is Comet Blood and Sand. So this one continues to do amazingly well. It is very likely, especially after it gets a retail release, which I assume will happen at some point, is going to be in the top 100. I think Comet is now just outside the top 100. Probably people waiting for this game to show up. This is a classic area control game. Probably my favorite area control game I played, just because you're always at threat to be attacked. Like, no one's really out of the game. There's, very unique strategies and plays being made, and it's even got an economic component with the purchasing of the tiles, because each tile only one person can get, which is a really good system. Everything, you're always feeling like every turn is important, every move is important, even the ordering is important. It's just a phenomenal design. That's number 8, Comet Blood and Sand. Number 7 is Destiny. So this one is kind of using the Chronicles of Crime system in a adventure game, it looks like. And it's doing well. It's not, its rating isn't holding as strong as I kind of expected based on these early ratings, so it has come down a little bit. I do see this hitting the top 100, though. In general, people really like this game. I think this is going to spawn some new expansions and probably be one of the most popular games of this year. So that's number 7, Destinies. Number 6 is Oath. So this is interesting. Oath had kind of been falling down a little bit, and actually its rating was about where I expected it to be, around 8 or high 7s. Last week it got its Shut Up and Sit Down review, so That may have caused other people to go out and buy it. I think it's available in retail. Maybe play the game. They gave it a pretty positive review, which I would expect. I think it aligns well with the things that Shut Up and Sit Down really likes. And in general, that probably helped boost its rating up. It's probably going to boost it a little bit more. And I do think this has an outside chance of hitting the top 100 now. We'll have to see. But with that positive review from Shut Up and Sit Down, that may propel it up there. So that's 6, Oath. Number 5, Botanic. So this is also strange because I don't think I've ever heard of this game. So it's a new game, 2 players, from Space Cowboys. So Space Cowboys does the unlock games, which I really like. So we're supposed to develop the most effective network of mecha botanics. Combination of plants and science. Botanic offers fluid mechanics, 1 action per turn, in addition to ingenious exchange system. Interesting. So this is card drafting, pattern building, tile placement. Kind of a small box game. Really a very small box game. It's kind of like a unique tile placement game, it looks like. Well, we'll have to see how this one does. I'm guessing it's kind of an early boost. Usually a 2-player game isn't going to do... It's not going to do extremely well. There are some good examples of ones that did, like Twilight Struggle, but most 2-player games are not going to do really well on the BGG Top 100, just in general. I guess Seven Wonders Duel did very well, but that had a little bit of fans of Seven Wonders, even if the gameplay is drastically different. Even with it, I mean, it is a card drafting game in both cases, but just how you do the card drafting is so different. It feels like a completely different game. So that is number 5, Botanic. I don't see this one hitting the top 100, but we'll see. We'll see how it does. It is getting a fairly decent rating. Let's keep an eye on it. Number 4 is Summoner Wars. So this is actually another game that was reviewed, and this is 2nd edition. Reviewed by Shut Up and Sit Down. Their review made me want to try it out. I just have too many games to play right now. Actually, I need to start selling them off. Some of the ones I don't plan on playing anymore. But anyway, this is Summoner Wars 2nd edition. There's a full review there. It's hard to predict at this point because it is a 2nd edition, but it is, the original Summoner's Wars game. I don't think it ever hit the top 100, but I could be wrong. We'll have to wait and see how this one does. I do recommend checking out their review if you're interested in this game. That's number 4, Summoner Wars 2nd edition. Number 3 is Imperium Classics. So this game is doing really well, which is not too unexpected. So it's from David Zerke and a co-designer, Neil Buckle, I think. And let's see if it's on here. Yeah, not Nigel Buckle. And this is a heavy card-based civilization game where I think the cards look really good. Let's see if I have an example of it here. Yeah, so here's an example of one civilization. I like how the artwork is done in the cards. I think it looks really good. I like the fact they don't have like a border around it. I think that's a really good look for the cards. The reviews for this game, though, have been kind of mixed. I guess the gameplay itself, people seem to really like. It's just the remembering all the mechanics and the setup and teardown seems to be the negative points for this game. I do kind of want to get its other version, which is Imperium Legends, I think. And this system could very easily be other card games. So I'm going to keep an eye on this and see if I get a good deal or a trade on it. I do plan on getting it just to see how it plays. And it is pretty heavy. So it's a heavier civilization game, card game, but it's at a reasonable price point, coming in at, I think, 40 MSRP, which is pretty reasonable for a civilization game when you compare it to like Through the Ages, which had an $80 MSRP. So that is Imperium Classics. It's hard to predict if this thing is going to hit the top 100 because its reviews have been kind of mixed at this point. So we'll have to wait and see. And number 2 is Imperium Legends. So this is basically the same thing as Imperium Classics. Same rules, same gameplay, but instead of classic civilizations, you have these fictional ones. So you have Arthurian, Atlantean, Egyptian. I guess Egyptian, maybe it's like a, I don't know, maybe a mythical Egyptian. I don't know, Marian, Minoan, Quinn, which I guess Quinn is like a fictional Quinn dynasty, probably from like the Legend of the Three Kingdoms series. So, interestingly, fans also like Under Falling Skies, Too Many Bones, Mage Knight, Sleeping Gods, and Nemo's War. So it could be, and they also obviously like Imperium Classics. Again, the artwork in this game I think looks really good. This one doesn't have as many images as the other one, but same style artwork. And if I'm going to get one, I'm probably going to get this one just because I like the idea of like a civilization game, but with some like fantastical civilizations, just in terms of like a theming, even though probably in this game it doesn't matter. It's probably just mechanics. So that is number 2, Imperium Legends. I do think, so if we look at this one, Imperium Classics is doing a little bit worse than Imperium Legends. So I do think people tend to maybe like the legendary civilizations a little bit more, or just the game feel there. So that is number 2, Imperium Legends. And number 1, again, for the second week, is Terraforming Mars Aries Expedition. So if you're not aware, this is on here because people are buying the game. There's also the controversy with the Target release and Stronghold Games. So there's probably tons of stuff still about that online if you're interested. One interesting thing is the rating is going up. This game as a whole has been getting, I think, mixed reviews from most reviewers. So I'm not expecting it to do better than Terraforming Mars. I do think that some people might like it better if you want, like, it seems like if you want like a lighter weight Terraforming Mars with better art, this is probably it. Although I'm convinced that someday they will put out a deluxe edition of Terraforming Mars, or maybe a second edition, where they maybe take all the best stuff from the expansions, put it in the base box, take, maybe have the big box with the 3D tiles and everything all in one set, like a deluxe edition. And if they did that, it's going to do exceedingly well. I just think because there's so many friends Terraforming Mars, and I would almost be tempted to pick one up if they did something like that, just because I feel like Terraforming Mars is going to be a classic game, and maybe my one gripe with it when playing with Prelude is just the art on the cards is bad. I don't know how to say it. It almost looks like open source art. I really wish that they would have had the foresight to hire an artist to do some amazing graphics design. And I think, a second edition or deluxe edition would be an amazing opportunity to go in and fix that one part of the game that's kind of subpar. I mean, and maybe some of the components, like the boards were bad at the beginning. They came out with the dual layer boards, obviously include those. And I think even the game board is a little bit lower quality than you would expect. So clearly, at least in my opinion, they didn't expect Terraforming Mars to be the hit it was. But they can remedy it with the next edition. So there you have it. That is the BGG Climbers for the week ending 7/7/2021. If you like this video, please like and please subscribe, and please take a look at my other videos. Thank you.